Alright guys, this is just a real quick how do you play VF for dummies. There's a lot of better guides out there that are in depth. Everything on virtuefighter.com, especially the wiki, is fantastic. The Dandy J video that's on YouTube is really good. Tricky has some tutorials out, right? But the thing is, people don't want to watch all this stuff. They just want to get in fast. I know this from being in the Discord and teaching a lot of people for the past couple of, I don't know, years or so. And they want to get in fast. They don't want to watch the whole thing. They don't want to read all this stuff. So here's some real basics. I'm using right now the Final Showdown version because it's easier for me to record. But Ultimate Showdown and Revo, presumably, is going to be exactly the same. The only difference is hit sparks, right? There's no hit spark in Final Showdown. Sorry, I have it set to something for an example. There's no hit sparks in Final Showdown, just on counter hit. So normal hit, there's no hit spark. You see that it's just light. And counter hit, there's the yellow hit spark, which in Ultimate Showdown is red. Now in Ultimate Showdown, there is hit spark, so things are going to look a little bit different for you. That's the only thing. Now, as far as what do you need to know before you watch this? Nothing. Just do the tutorial. If you didn't do the tutorial yet, and you're trying to learn how to play VF, then I don't really know what to tell you, because you have to do the tutorial, right? You should do it in every game, right? Otherwise, how do you know? So, do the tutorial, then come back to this. Alright, so basic VF. How do we play? I have these big giant moves, right? This is a really cool move, it's great, looks really great, right? And I get a combo after it, right? I get whatever. Sure. The thing is, this move is slow. You could see right now, there are execution frames listed in the box. An 18-frame move might not seem that slow, right? But fast moves are 12, fast moves are 14, or in Akira's case 13. These are 14, right? Fast moves are really quite faster than that. So in the neutral, when you're just walking around, when the two of you guys are just hanging out and next to each other and near each other or whatever, doing something like that, or even potentially this, could be a problem when they're going to be doing stuff that's a lot faster. VF's basic game plan is gain frame advantage first, then apply a mix. Okay? That's it. So we need to gain frame advantage first with our neutral attacks. So here's some moves that are plus on normal hit. Jab, 2P, which is a, what do you call it? Crouching punch. Punch kick. Most characters have a punch kick that's plus on normal hit. Not all. If you're playing Lao, if you're playing Pi, right? Characters that have a stance out of their PK, they might not have that +4. So you might have to double check your character, but generally speaking, these are good moves to apply pressure in the normal neutral, right? Boom, boom, boom. Now, highs and lows, if you played any other 3D game, you already know there are some weaknesses to those, right? Lows you can jump over, highs you can duck under. There are crush moves, right? So there's a third option, which is usually the really best option, which is mids. So Akira has a 14-frame mid. It's just this down forward punch, or 3P. Really recommend you guys learn numpad, because that is the standard for VF and all games that are not Street Fighter or Tekken. But 3P, right? He has this. That's a 14-frame move. Most characters have a 14-frame elbow, so that's something you could work around as well. Fast elbows, fast mids, right? Even, obviously 6-6P for Akira is really good. 13-frame execution. It's not going to be 13 frames in neutral, because dash is going to add 1 frame, so it's 14 frames in neutral. But this is a really strong move, right? When you know your basics, jab, elbow, 2P, you're able to play neutral game. That's it. That's all that you need for dummies, right? Then when you get frame advantage, which can happen a number of ways, that's when you apply mix. Let's talk about the common frame advantage situations. Counter hit. When you counter hit somebody, you get way more frame advantage. That was 5 before, it's 8 now. That was 4 before, it's 8 now, right? That was 4 before, it's 7 now, right? You get way more. It's actually based on the damage itself of the move, The higher the damage the move, usually the more frame advantage you get, but added on for the counter hit. But some moves are just specific. You get this much more frame advantage, blah blah blah. It's not a hard and fast rule. Almost every move that you have in the game is plus on counter hit. Some characters like Akira are plus frame fiends, right? Everything that they do is going to be super plus, right? Kage is pretty similar, right? Even low kick, which is normally -6 on hit, is going to be 0 on counter hit. So everything is really quite plus. There are also moves on counter hit that cause special states and special whatevers, right? So your super dash elbow, which normally just knocks down, gives you a combo, right? And you can do a whole big combo off of counter hit. So when we combine those two things together, we know that when we get counter hit from an elbow, we can then do another elbow or a super elbow, right? And look for them to be pushing a button, and if they push a button in between those two, they'll get caught and, they'll get hit. So that's one way to create offense. Look for counter hits. Do quick moves, look for counter hits, and then, move on from there. Right? That's one setup I could do, right? To counter hit the guy. Jab, see its counter hit, and I do the super elbow. That's it, right? Elbow, see the counter hit, and I do the super elbow. See? Whatever. Those are some very easy ways to do it. This is also how you can set up throws, because what's going to happen as soon as they see that their yellow flash happens, and they get the counter hit, they're going to block, right? So you can just throw, right? Whatever. You can do a strike, or you could do a throw, because maybe they're blocking. So that's basic offense. Get a counter hit, strike, throw. That's it. That's the basic stuff. Okay? That's how you can play the neutral. What happened? Here's another. What about if they evade, if you evade, right? So let me set up a recording so he can do something that I can evade. Whoops. Ding dong. I'm plus as hell off that. Right? I'm plus. Because I evaded, now I'm plus. In fact, if you already know what that blue counter means, you already know that I'm actually punishing this move. But we'll get to that in a minute. After evade, you're always plus as well. So you might say, oh great, that's cool. I'm a Tekken player, I'm a Soul Calibur player, I'm a DOA player. Well, DOA actually works pretty similar to VF, so I'm not going to say that. I'm a Tekken player. I'm just going to evade all the time. And as soon as they push a button, I'll be on their side and I'll get the plus frames. It doesn't work that way. Evade is not the same as stepping in Tekken. Evade is a binary system. You evade or you don't. Did you notice during that demonstration I was doing, Akira made a noise when he evaded and he moved really far to the side? But if I just press up or down, that doesn't happen. There are two states to evade. Failed evade, successful evade. If you push evade and an attack from the enemy is not even coming out when you push it, you are going to fail your evade. Failed evade can be struck at any point in time. They will turn and track you if they push a linear button. It does not matter. Failed evade is a fail state. It means you failed as a person, right? So you need to understand that that's not the game being bad, that's you being bad. Don't evade unless they attack. So does that mean that you need to look at them to make sure that they're attacking you? Oh my god, that seems really hard. How can I react to a 12-frame jab with evade? You don't have to do that. You can input the evade anytime that you're minus. So if they're, for example, going to elbow you after you do an attack and they block, I can just put the evade in and it'll come out. This is when you want to evade. When you're minus, not when you're plus, right? So even if I evade when I'm plus, I have +2 on the block or on jab, right? If I evade immediately after they block my jab, it's not going to work because I'm plus, right? The attack is not coming out when I push evade. So So you need to understand that about evade. But evade is the other way that you can get frame advantage and apply your pressure. There you go. That's another way to do it. Those two ways are very simple and easy ways. Another way that you can get frame advantage is by blocking, right? So if they block, if they do this and then they block, I'm plus again, right? I'm +5. You can see right there. They block my elbow, I'm minus. I block his elbow, I'm plus. Now I can mix him there. It's that simple. I can do a throw here. I can do another mid here if I wanted, right? Now, if he's set to just block and respond every time, obviously certain things are not going to work, or they are. But in a real match, that's something to think about. All right? So those are your ways to get frame advantage. Then you mix. That's the most basic. That's it. That is VF. You poke with fast moves that are plus on hit and punishable, not punishable on block, sorry. Stuff like elbow, right? Stuff like jab, stuff like 2P. And even when you get more into these things, stuff like side kick is really good. Now that's pretty minus, but it's not punishable. You're not going to be punishable until -10 because throws are 10 frames. You're not going to be punishable by strikes until -12 or 11 if you're fighting against a character with an 11 frame jab, but there are only a few of those. So the idea is, there you go. I'm attacking and then I'm blocking, and they're attacking and then they're blocking, right? So that's the basics. And in that sort of gameplay, that's where you can do throws and whatever. Now we're just going to talk really fast about defense. Basic defense. First things first. Holding block is cool, but that is not a defensive choice. It's a defensive choice insofar as you don't get hit. But it's not a defensive choice insofar as if I want to play defensively in neutral, I'm not holding guard. That is not defense, okay? The reason that is not defense is because they could just walk up and throw you, right? So defense in VF is not just hold guard. Defense in VF is playing safe, playing less committal, okay? So doing things like this, right? Doing things like evade and then canceling it immediately with a dash and then guarding after, that's like more defensive play in the neutral. Stuff that won't get you killed. Maybe you'll get hit, but they'd have to get lucky to hit you, right? They'd have to be fishing. And if they're fishing 9 times out of 10, that also means that you can just respond to what they're doing with a block and get frame advantage and stuff like that, right? If they fish with an elbow, maybe you get hit by the elbow, but whatever, then you can block, right? Then you can defend, then you can, defend yourself. You're just not you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're just standing there and then all of a sudden they just do a big ass launch and you just take a lot of damage. So that's playing defensively. Now I'm going to talk about one other thing that you need to practice. We're going to talk about, I have a video about buffers, practicing the buffer, because that's big, and you're going to, lose if you can't buffer. But the next thing is, this is something so important, I just want to show it to you. He's going to attack with a throw after a block. Lazy throw escape, or easy throw escape, or utori throw escape, or whatever. How do you throw escape in this game? I'm going to show you how to do it. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't think about it. Okay, so first things first. He's going to throw me every time I do anything. He's going to block and then throw me. If I'm guarding, I can get thrown. In other games, what you have to do is you have to try and tap P plus G when they reach out to grab you. Right? You have to tap throw when they reach out to grab you. Which you can do in this game. You see I'm doing it. I don't recommend this. In this game, if you're holding guard and then you're holding punch, you're breaking throws. And you're breaking throws the entire time that you're doing this. So, to show you an example, guard punch, and I hold it. That's it. Guard punch, and I hold it. Guard punch, and I'm holding. Guard punch, and I'm holding. Guard punch, and I'm holding. See? Very easy. So this is why they call it lazy throw escape, because you don't have to do anything. You just hold these two. I'm technically escaping throws and guarding right now. It's an option select. Wow, that's really strong, right? But the thing is, so why should I not be concerned about breaking throws? You said I shouldn't be concerned about breaking throws. Thing is, there are 3 throws in this game. Neutral throw. You break it like this. Forward throw. You break it the same way, but you have to hold forward. Your forward, not the enemy's forward. It's you're mirroring them. And back throw, which you break like this. So you see the problem. You can only break 1, but there are 3. So that's why I'm saying don't focus on throw break as a way to break the throw. You're not beating the throw with this. Here's what you're doing. What you're doing is you're guarding and then adding an extra layer. Right? VF is a game where you're supposed to beat the player, not the character. What that means is if you beat throws, it's because you know he's going to throw you, and you just beat them. How did that work? Well, here's where you're going to get confused. If you're not a player of Dead or Alive, or Virtua Fighter, or a couple of other games that have what's called the triangle system. This is since Virtua Fighter 1, triangle system's been in the game. Triangle system means that attack beats throw beats guard beats attack. This is the basic gameplay block. If you think they're going to throw you, the ideal thing to do is attack with any attack. Slowest attack you have, it doesn't matter. It beats throws. They cannot throw any attack that you do, even if it's a big charged attack. Even if it's an attack that doesn't even come out. Oh wait, on the yeah. Does he not have? Oh yeah, he does. I'm just playing bad. Yeah, that. Even if it's an attack that doesn't come out. See? Any attack cannot be thrown. That's it. Period. So, how do I defend against throws? Attack. Why are there throw breaks even in this game? Because sometimes you need to block, right? So if you're blocking, why not? They throw you a bone and they give you a freebie, and you get to break a throw for free. Now, if you fight the same guy over and over again, you fight me. I'm not a very good Akira player. I don't like to learn all the combos. This combo is good and it's easy, but against heavier characters, I can't do it. So, like, if you're fighting me, maybe I'm not going to do a good combo off a back throw, so maybe you don't care about that. So you're going to break forward throw against me all the time, because maybe I'm only going to go for forward throw. This is where you beat the player, not the character, right? That's what I'm talking about. So every time you guard, just always have a throw break stuck behind it. And that way, not only are you blocking attacks, but you're breaking a throw. And you can break whichever throw you're most afraid of at the time. Don't think about breaking throws like you're entitled to it. You're not entitled to breaking a throw. That's not something that you're entitled to. Virtua Fighter is a game where you need to make a commitment. And if you're not committed to beating the throw with a strike, then you don't deserve to beat the throw every time. Instead, what you need to do is you need to guess what throw they're going to do and hope that you're right. Because you're playing like, you're not playing committed. You're not committing to attacking through. There are good reasons not to commit, by the way, obviously, because if they do the other thing, you get counter hit. If they do the strike on that triangle, if they pick the other option, you're getting hit, right? And you're getting counter hit, so it's a lot more damage, and sometimes it leads to combos. So there's a real risk to thinking they're going to throw and attacking. But there's also a real risk for them to attack. You see? So you have to view this as what it is, which is an opportunity. That's what it is. Okay, those are the basics. So basic VF gameplay is... I'll put him back on normal after this. Basic VF gameplay is you're going to be jabbing, you're going to be low jabbing, you're going to be elbowing, and that's any variation of elbow. If you're an Akira player, you might want to do this elbow instead. You're going to be side kicking. You're doing these non-committal moves that don't get you killed, and you're doing them to try and open people up with counter hits. Then you're doing your bigger stuff, right? If I'm Akira and I want to do, my, big launches or my counter hit launch, I'm waiting until I see that yellow flash. Then I'm going to do my super dash elbow. Then I'm going to do my yo-ho. Then I'm going to do my one frame knee. Let's see if I can do it. Yep, I can do it. So I'm going to do that stuff. I'm only doing those things when I see that I have advantage. I blocked something. Okay, now it's time for yo-ho. I blocked something. Now it's time for this, right? That's how the game is played. I evaded something. Now it's time for this, right? That's how the game is played. You can't just throw stuff out. I mean, you can. That's the beauty of it. If they're playing bad too, the two of you guys are playing bad together, you can just throw shit out and nothing's going to happen. But if you're watching this video, you're not, interested in playing bad. All right. Next one is going to be how to set up training mode so that you can buffer and things.